Alright, what is going on, everybody? This is Jake, and it's been a while ever since my last review. I'm pretty sure my last review was like a month ago, I think. But yeah, ever since then, I've seen a few movies in the theaters. I've seen Logan, I've seen Get Out, and I was going to do reviews on those movies, but I just didn't write out the scripts for those movies, and I do feel like that when I write scripts for these reviews, these types of videos, I feel like they turn out a lot better because I write down all the things I want to talk about and I list down all the pros and cons, and I feel like the video turns out a lot better this way as opposed to just rambling the entire video. I mean, the video is still me rambling, but at least I have notes to remember all the shit that I actually want to talk about. But yeah, anyway, I will have those reviews up pretty soon. I don't know how soon, but yeah, in the meantime, let's talk some Alien. let's talk some good old Alien. Now before I jump into the review, I do feel like I need to give my thoughts on the previous Alien movies, because even though I have talked about this in the comment section of other people's videos, I don't think I've ever expressed my opinion on the Alien movies in my own videos. So I'm just gonna run down this really quick. I thought the first Alien movie was fucking brilliant. I think Aliens is arguably better. I don't think Alien 3 is a particularly good movie. I don't like it, but there are aspects of that movie that are very interesting, and if you watch the behind the scenes documentary, you'll find that there was a lot of shit that happened behind the scenes. There was a lot of drama, and thinking about all this shit does make me kind of curious as to how this could have turned out to be a legitimately good movie. Then we get to Alien Resurrection, which has none of that. It was doomed to fail from the start. It is a fucking horrible movie. I hate that fucking movie. If you thought the Star Wars prequels were bad, bruh, this is on the same fucking level as the Star Wars prequels. It is that fucking bad. Like, this is a spoiler for Alien 3, but in Alien 3, Ripley fucking dies, and you know how they continue this franchise without Ripley? They fucking clone her, and it's fucking stupid. Like, she has the xenomorph DNA inside of her, and it's like, come the fuck up. No, you fucked it up. You fucked it up. You fucking fucked it up. But yeah, I still cannot get over the fact that Joss Whedon wrote that script. That is hands down his worst fucking work, and I fucking love Joss Whedon. I do. Avengers, Serenity, Firefly, Toy Story, fucking Toy Story. I love those movies. And then he comes out with Alien Resurrection, and that's a piece of fucking shit. But yeah, fucking hate Resurrection. Then we get to Prometheus, which I know a lot of Alien fans are mixed on. I am in the campaign of fans who support this movie. I think Prometheus is a really good movie. It's a really smart movie. And I feel like a lot of people don't understand a lot of the religious symbolism behind that movie and what that movie was trying to say. But yeah, so far only 3 good Alien movies have come out. How does this movie, how does Alien Covenant stand up compared to the other Alien movies? Well, let's find out. Now, for those of you who don't know the plot of the movie, basically it's about this crew who are aboard the ship called the Covenant, and their mission is to head for a distant planet to colonize. But they find another planet on their way to that planet that's even closer, and it has better signs of life. It's perfect for them. So instead of heading to their original planet, they head for said perfect planet. And, of course, because it's an Alien movie, shit goes south fast. So yeah, I know there are going to be a couple of people who are asking whether or not they should watch the prologues for this movie, because before this movie was released, there were prologues released online, and I would say you don't need to watch the prologues, they aren't necessary, but I would recommend watching the first one because it does give you an idea of what you're in for. Don't watch the second one though. If you want to go into the movie blind, you don't want to be spoiled, do not watch the second prologue because the second prologue gives away a huge fucking plot point. It gives away a huge fucking spoiler. So yeah, I would recommend watching the first prologue even though it's not necessary, but stay away from the second one if you don't want to be spoiled. So, what did I think of Alien Covenant? I liked it. I liked it a lot. Now, of course, this is a spoiler-free review, so I'm not gonna give away any major plot points. I mean, I might get into some light spoilers, but nothing too heavy. So, if you want to go into the movie completely blind, this might not be the video for you, but if you don't care, then stick around. But if you have seen the movie, please don't spoil it in the comment section below for people who haven't seen it. Either construct your opinion in a way that doesn't spoil it for other people, or just wait for my next video, my spoiler review. Now let's get into some of the pros first. I really like how this movie is basically a combination of Alien, Aliens, and Prometheus. All the good Alien movies. I mean, again, I know Prometheus is kind of mixed amongst the fans, but it's better than what we got with Resurrection. That's for damn sure. and Alien 3, fuck those movies. Even though Alien 3 could have been good, they fucked up. So yeah, I like how this basically combines all of the good Alien movies, or at least all the ones that get the most positive reception. And if you're more of a fan of the classic Alien movies, you might like those aspects more as opposed to the Prometheus aspects. But if you're like me, and you like all three of those movies, you're gonna have a fucking blast. And speaking of Prometheus, I really like how this movie explores a lot of the ideas in Prometheus. I mean, it kind of does lead into one of the negatives, but I will get into that later on in the video. But I like how this explores a lot of what was in Prometheus, like how the xenomorphs were made. And when you find out what's been a brew ever since David and Shaw left that planet, oh boy. Oh shit. I think the movie looks absolutely beautiful. It looks absolutely fucking beautiful. I mean, the landscapes that they're filming in, the fucking cinematography, everything that the camera captures looks fucking amazing. I feel like when you do get to some of the more CGI stuff, it is kind of mixed. I mean, some of the CGI is really fucking good, and then some of it, not so much. I mean, it's not bad. It's more noticeable, and I feel like the CGI that's not so noticeable, that does look more realistic, really fucking stands out. And I feel like some of the lesser CGI is kind of more forgivable. So yeah, I think this movie looks fucking beautiful. I think it's one of the best looking movies of the year so far. I think the acting in this movie is really good too. Everybody does a great job in this movie with their performances. Nobody gives any bad acting. And especially Michael Fassbender. Holy shit, bruh. He makes up for Assassin's Creed, alright? He done fucked up with Assassin's Creed. He's an amazing actor, but not only was that movie bad, but he was bad in that movie. But he made up for it. He fucking made up for it, because the shit he does in this movie, holy, he has a lot to work with. He has a fucking lot to work with in this movie. And it is him in the movie, Michael Fassbender, he is the highlight of the movie for me. He is the fucking highlight. His performance, the shit he is given to work with, holy fuck, bruh. Michael Fassbender is hands down the best part of this movie. Which kind of leads me to his performance as his character in this movie. And I know there was a lot of confusion whether or not David would be in this movie, because we see Michael Fassbender in the trailer, and a lot of people were assuming that it was David, but Ridley Scott came out and said he's playing a new character. He's playing Walter. And since this is a sequel to Prometheus, a lot of people were speculating whether or not David would return. And I'm not going to give it away whether or not he's in this movie, but let's just go back to my previous statement. Michael Fassbender has a lot to work with in this movie. Let's just leave it at that. But yeah, his performance as Walter is really good. His character, Walter, is really good. I like his parallels and his differences with David, because when you go to watch Prometheus, David was a deceitful, manipulative asshole. He was a fucking douche, but in the most lovable way. And you see here with Walter, he's a lot more loyal, he's a lot more compassionate. He actually gives a shit about the people he's working with. David fucking hated the people he was working with, whereas Walter actually cares about these people. He considers these people his friends, and he considers it part of his mission to keep them safe. And he has a bit of an interesting relationship with Daniels, too, the main character, which I'm not going to get too into, but yeah, I'm gonna save that for my spoiler review. But the relationship between those two is it's pretty interesting, which leads me to Daniels' character. Daniels is a great main character for this particular movie, because I feel like she's a bit of a combination of Shaw from Prometheus and Ripley. Mainly Ripley from Aliens, because in the beginning of the movie, Daniels is a bit timid, she's kind of shy, and by the end of the movie, she is a fucking badass. Like, that one line she has in the movie, where she's like, "Let's kill this fucker." Bruh, that delivery was fucking boss. Holy shit. So yeah, I like Daniels a lot, and I think the actress that played as her did a really good performance. I'm pretty sure she was in Fantastic Beasts too, which is another movie I have to get around to reviewing. But yeah, I don't remember her role in that movie, but I'm sure if I were to go back and rewatch that, I would recognize her. But yeah, for this movie, she was great. I liked her a lot. And of course, you can't have a badass main character without some good action. And the action in this movie, not only is it good, but I also really appreciate how it actually built up to it. Because as much as I fucking love Aliens, it's kind of an action movie all the way through. Whereas with this, it has a lot more parallels to Alien and Prometheus in the beginning, and then by the end, it's a bit more Aliens. And holy fucking shit, that fucking ending. I'm not gonna spoil anything. I'm gonna save it for my spoiler review, but fucking god damn it, bruh, that fucking you fucking no, spoiler, save it for the spoiler video, save it for the fucking spoiler video. But yeah, as you can tell, I have some things to say about the ending. So yeah, those are all the things I liked about Alien Covenant. Now let's get into some of the things I didn't particularly like about it. Now, this first criticism of the movie, it isn't really from me. It's more of from other people. And even though it doesn't really bother me, I do understand why it bothers other people, and as I said before, this is a combination of Aliens, and Prometheus, and a lot of people have been saying that this is a combination of those movies, but at the same time, it doesn't offer anything new, and that is true to a certain extent, but because I do like those movies, that doesn't really bother me personally. But I can see how it can upset other people who are expecting something new. Again, it doesn't bother me personally, but if that is a gripe you have with the movie, if you've seen it, I completely understand. Now, one of the criticisms I have with this movie, it's probably a bit more nitpicky, because it doesn't really affect the overall movie, really, but I did find some inconsistencies with some of the previous Alien movies. More along the lines of the biology of the xenomorphs. I'm not going to get too into it in this video. Again, I am going to save it for my spoiler video, but I was kind of bothered by some of the inconsistencies that I noticed while I was watching it. And one of my cons I had with this movie kind of leads back to one of my pros I mentioned earlier, with this movie expanding upon Prometheus. And it does still do that, but at the same time, it doesn't really give us any answers from that movie. And I know for the people who haven't seen this, they're going to be confused by this, and again, I'm not going to give away major spoilers, but this movie expands upon the ideas of creation from the Prometheus movie. That's what it expands upon. It doesn't really give us any answers to legitimate questions we had, like, why did the engineers create us? Why did they want to kill us afterwards? We don't really get any of those answers, and as somebody who liked Prometheus and went into this hoping to get answers, I kind of felt like I got a slap in the face, to be honest. I was disappointed. But of course, they are making a sequel, so hopefully I'll get my answers then. Hopefully. Another thing that bothered me about this movie is the supporting cast. And before I go any further, I have to bring this up. I fucking have to bring this up. Apparently, there are people out there who are boycotting this movie just because there are interracial couples and gay couples in this movie. If you are one of the people who have a problem with that, fuck you, alright? Fuck you. You can all go to fucking hell. But yeah, back to the review. I didn't particularly like any of the characters, and it's not because I'm a fucking racist, it's not because I'm a fucking misogynist. I didn't hate any of the characters, I didn't dislike any of them. I thought it was believable that they were all friends, but I just found them to be very forgettable. They didn't really stand out to me. There wasn't really anything about them, about their characters, that grasped me. It felt like they were there just to die, and I was pretty disappointed because I felt like they could have done more with the supporting cast aside from just killing them off. And I know I mentioned earlier how I had some strong feelings about the ending and how I put it in my pros, but I'm also kind of putting it in my cons, because even though I think the ending is fucking brilliant, there is one little thing that does kind of bother me. Just one little thing. It's probably more of a nitpick, but it doesn't really make a whole lot of sense to me. Again, I'm gonna get into it in my spoiler review, but just know that when you go to see the movie, there might be something about the ending that's a bit off, aside from how brilliant it is, there's just one eensy weensy tiny little problem. Just keep that in mind when you see it. So yeah, those are the things that I liked and disliked about Alien Covenant without getting into too many spoilers. In general, I really liked the movie. I do see some of the problems it has, but I think the pros outweigh the cons by a lot. And I will get into specifics in my spoiler review. I think I'm gonna save my score or my rating for the movie in that video. But yeah, what did you think of Alien Covenant if you've seen it? Let me know in the comments below. Again, please do not spoil it for anybody who hasn't seen it. And yeah, that should do it for now. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye.